After weeks and days of waiting, Fuse and the development team finally released an official stress test branch for Recode, where it is divided into two branches. But first, on this playthrough, we will go on for the negative observations that I have encountered while playing the stress test earlier. Of course, the phasing through the map still is currently happening, but when you do spawn back up, one inconsistency is that I couldn't interact with any of my keys. None of my keys are working, eating, movement, the M key, even going back to menu. So they have to fix that as well. Because right here, I could only access the Roblox UI, but none of the in-game controls. With fall damage being introduced to the game, stuff like this will be very difficult to deal with. Because once you're being flinged off the map, you're technically dead. I hope they fix something off of that. Maybe it's a map issue. Since the game is now introducing semi-dynamic growth or semi-smooth growth, you can see that my Bapiosaurus is shrunk down like a little chicken, even though I have already grown. And you can see the inconsistencies here where I was shrunk down to this size when in actuality my size is this one while eating. So I think they have to fix something off of that for the semi-smooth growth because it's still on increments, but hopefully they fix the inconsistencies of the dinosaur model soon. Still got a lot to work with. Oh, I can't eat anymore. Uh-oh. I'm gonna starve. When I just reached adolescent stage of Bapiosaurus, I couldn't no longer eat any of the vegetation or foliage around me. That counts for glake ferns, for the mushrooms, for the woodwardia ferns, the horsetails, everything. Once we reach a certain age, for any dinosaur, I tried Centaurosaurus and Pachycephalosaurus, we couldn't no longer eat anything. So that is something they have to fix as well. And speaking of diet and food, although that there are now new foods such as mushrooms to be eaten, but not everything in the ecosystem is still edible, such as these honeycombs right here, where I tried my best to interact with it to see if I could grab a chunk or eat it. Can it eat you, baby? Honey, 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 honey. Yeah, eat it. Oh, I don't think we can eat those yet. Now, give me honey. Give me honey. Give me honey. Give me honey. One main issue that most herbivore mains or players were testing at the time is the lack of food. Because everywhere you go, the land and the ecosystem is barren out of glyc ferns, even osmunda ferns, coniferous ferns, everything. And also, the cleaning animations are not available yet. Hopefully, in the next stress test branch or stress testing, they would add more foliage for all herbivores to eat. Because now it is an eat to grow system, not an AFK to grow growth system. If you don't know what that means, it basically is where 75% of your food bar is allotted for personal consumption. Meanwhile, 25% of that 100% is for growing. So you would actually need your food bar to be filled up to 100% in order for your dinosaur to keep growing. So you no longer have to AF prey grow and sit in a bush or at the corner of the map because you actually need food consistently. That also applies for carnivores and omnivores as well. And now for the positive aspects that I have discovered, or the new features that I have discovered while playing the game. So now, nutrition is now broken down into three: proteins, fats, and calcium, where each diet component now has different aspects and contributions to your dinosaur's well-being and combat abilities. So keeping your total nutrition high will get you to grow faster, prevent stagnant or slow growth, and increases your overall HP. Breaking down the nutrition, proteins will allow you to have higher damage and carry heavier corpses. Meanwhile, the fat nutrition will now decrease your food drain up to 25% after being full. Calcium will make your bones stronger, allowing you to fall from greater heights, being more immune to crushing and blunt damage. Also, this is more important for the female dinosaurs for egg laying. Meanwhile, the felt temperature well-being remains functionally the same as the legacy version. Immunity is new, where it slows down infection and bleed damage, and it will also now decrease if you are being attacked while being dirty. While keeping this well-being or this bar up, you will have to eat mineral deposits all over the map. Toxins is also something new, where you could grab toxins from other dinosaurs and the food that you eat. If it reaches 100%, you would definitely die. So eating clay from clay deposits all around the map would reduce this toxin bar. For herbivore and omnivore players, hopefully eating flowers like such as paleoesters, you have two options whether to eat the foliage or the honey or the nectar from it instead. I hope they would add a hotkey so that you can switch from either of the two options which to eat. Maybe pressing down the S key or the shift key would do the trick. I haven't spotted any mineral deposits yet, but this one here is a clay deposit. This is what it looks like, and they are all dotted around the map. Currently, there is no hotkey or something to interact with the clay deposits. Maybe soon on the release. A cute and useful feature that I have discovered is that when you discovered clay licks, dust deposits, or dust pits, it marks on the map. But this is only exclusive for each dinosaur, so it's different for each dinosaur you play. But this will be very useful for those players who keep forgetting where the dust pits are, where the clay pits are, so it will be very useful for them. But not just that, because caves and burrows are now also being added into the game, and they are now highlighted and also pinned down into your map so that you would always come back to them and you wouldn't lose them. Still very useful for those players who keep forgetting where things are. Such a pretty useful feature. Meanwhile, the tracking mechanic is perfect. You can actually track even as an herbivore, omnivore, and especially a carnivore. Anything that runs by you, you could track with the use of your senses. And it also applies for the courses that you see that are faded in blue, while the footprints are highlighted in yellow. Something huge or game-breaking, but the weather system and the graphics in the game have improved entirely. They are much smoother now, and one unique thing that I have discovered while it rains is because the further you look into the distance, it fogs up a bit. Pretty realistic if you ask me.
Look, so the farther your eyes is or the vision, it gets blurry when it rains. That's a very cool detail. That's a very cool detail. Oh, look at that, guys! Some trees change color. It's September, so I think it's getting close to autumn, or is it already autumn? Some trees, bushes are changing color. Ooh. Oh, very cool. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Yeah, that looks very cool. At least the aesthetics change. Oh my god, that looks so cool, man. Look at that. Look, the ginkgo trees turn yellow. The bigger ones turn orange and red. This looks so cool.
And of course, a lot of map changes, especially in Redwoods. Where I am currently in the screen is the Fern Canyon inspired point of interest from Walking with Dinosaurs. It was announced earlier in the past few months and now it is here. But do take in mind, guys, that this is only a stress test. So it is expected to have tons and tons of bugs. That's why they are testing it to see what bugs they can fix especially by us, the players, and the community. And hopefully, they will release a better stress test this week, hopefully, fixing all the bugs by then, because we only now have less than 7 days until Recode. Hope you stick by then. This is the Adomski. Until next time.